recording the event right now as well. And John will be sharing the event, or he'll be sharing the slides with us later on, and I'll be sharing that with you guys as well. So, John, it's up to you now.
Perfect. Thanks, Brian. So my name is John Irwin. I'm a technical director at Leyton. Just an agenda for this, we'll do about Leyton and a little introduction about myself and overview of some of the OCE funding programs. So a little bit about Leyton. We were founded in '97. We're based in France. We have over 20,000 clients, 31 offices worldwide. We're in 11 countries. Those countries all have R&D tax credits. That's where we're established. We have over 20 plus years experience. I myself have just under 12 years of SR&ED and government funding experience. We have over 1,500 employees, and 40% of those are female. Something, one fact I'm pretty proud of. So Leyton, Canada, let me just, we have 2 offices, one in Montreal and one in Toronto. I actually joined Leyton in April of last year to open up the Toronto office. We started with 2 people. We're now at, I think, just over 30 employees a year and a half later. So growing rapidly and growing smart. So we'll jump right into it and get into the overview of OCE funding programs. So just so you know, OCE stands for, excuse me, Ontario Centers of Excellence. And they support projects that create jobs and make Ontario companies more competitive globally. Their programs tend to change, not from year to year, but they do have programs that have multi-year mandates, just like any other grant program. Currently, right now, what they have is they have they had even just closed the Autonomous Vehicle Innovation Network. That program just closed as of right now. I'm not sure if it's going to reopen. We're not sure of that. But their current ones, they have Encore 5G, and I'll get into what that means. The IBM Innovation Incubator Project is another one. NGNP, Next Generation Network Program, is another one that they have. And this one is related to their VIP program. So their research and collaboration kind of programs, specifically for industry partners who are partnering with universities for researching and things like that. So the AVEN program, it's a combination of multiple partners who've been involved in this, and it's broken up into 2 streams. Was broken up into 2 streams. So stream 1 was 1/3 of eligible costs up to $100,000, which is a 2-to-1 cash match from industry partners. And the project would last up to 12 months, and it was a rolling intake as of, I think it closed the end of September. So I'll have to update the slide. Same with stream 2. You'll get 1/3 of your eligible project costs up to $1 million, and the match to that is a 2-to-1 cash match from the industry partners or the person that they're funding, and that project could last up to 24 months. And they had 2 intake rounds per year for that as well. They also had 2 talent development kind of streams that relate to AVEN. So they had internships where each 4-month internship was valued at $20,000. So you get $10,000 from OCE and $10,000 was from the company. So, and then they also had fellowships, which was a little bit longer, but also gave you more money. Each 12-month fellowship was valued at $85,000, $35,000 from OCE and $50,000 from the company. So that's, the AVEN was specifically designed for autonomous vehicle development, specifically around technology, where it could be retrofitted into a vehicle or was built as part of the vehicle itself. So there was multiple streams. They also had break-off streams from AVEN. One was their Winter Tech program, which was also just closed, where they were funding companies to help solve the problem of driving in the winters in Canada, which is very smart because we need that if we're going to have level 3 autonomous vehicles. The Encore 5G is a program where it's an opportunity for companies who have a need to use mobile networks and have a need to have that mobile data. Either they have a large bandwidth need for mobile data, or they have a need for speed as far as latency, low latency, and things like that. What this program enables them to do is it gives them access to the 5G test facility for them to test their hardware, test their software within a 5G kind of network ecosystem. It's helping because to give the companies access to that. You also get, and we'll talk about the money, but you also get funding in order for you to do this development as well. So it helps to accelerate your time to market because it's giving you direct access to 5G technology where it might not be available to you as an individual company. It's helping you to develop a prototype and demonstrate new pre-commercial products and services. It connects you with Encore's anchor firms, which are these firms here. It just enables you to partner with other people in the ecosystem. So you can work with other people, learn from other people, and things like that. So it's a great program if you have a device or you have a solution that is in need of either low latency or high data use. So there's two streams. The smaller of the streams is called the Talent Edge streams, which is where you're looking to hire employees that can help to accelerate your product development as it relates to 5G. You can get a maximum of $6,000 per applicant. But the main one where we're talking about the access to this technology is the Encore 5G demo stream. So what it is it's a $5,000 contribution, $50,000 contribution from OCE. And what it is from your end, it's a matching funds of $50,000. So it can be in kind, which means that if you have salaries of people who are working on this and dedicated to this, that's where your 50% of the your portion of the $50,000 can come from. So it's a great program if that's up your wheelhouse, the Encore, if you're looking to use 5G technology. The one thing that I wanted to talk about too is our partnership with OCE, which we'll get into in a bit. NGNP is the Next Generation Network Program. It's also known as CENGEN. This is a much more broad stream of funding. So what this enables companies to do is if you're developing an app or a database or anything where you have to test the scalability or test the volatility of your platform, this is a perfect test bed for this. So what it does is it gives you access to a data center to test your the scalability, to test to stress test your application or your platform within a technology. Now this is all cloud-based, so it's all remote-based. There's no center that you go to and set up your laptop and start running. This can all be done remotely. Let me just see. For this one, it's the same as the Encore 5G. It's a $50,000 contribution. So 50% of $100,000, so $50,000. And for you to have access to this, it's $50,000 in kind as well, just like the Encore 5G. The premise of this is to help you to accelerate your time to market through the access of their network and their cloud testbed. It helps companies to develop and demonstrate new products and services with technical and project management support from CENGEN. So not only are you getting access to their testbed, you're also getting support from experts in the field. And it also connects you with industry members, partners, and other ecosystem services. So not only are you getting some funding to stress test and test the scalability of your application or platform, you're also getting access to really key services. Market readiness. So this seems very complex, but if I can just put it into a just summarize it. Market readiness is for companies where their IP has been developed at a university. So for example, one example I can give you is if you were part of the Mars DD accelerator, that's considered the IP being developed at a university. So this is a matching fund where you are getting investment from an outside investor, like an angel or VC. So there are two streams, and I've been told actually that there's only 3 spots left for market readiness. So they're being very, very picky. So market readiness is so if they'll invest up to $125,000 for the MR 125, and they'll invest up to $250,000 for the MR 250. And you'll see here the company must have a third-party investor match the OCE investment. So it's a co-investment fund. And you have to have completed preliminary validation of the technology and the target market. So this is for companies that are a little bit more further ahead. We're talking about technology readiness levels at about a 6 or a 7, if you know about the TRL lists. So market readiness 250 is a little bit even further, that you're demonstrating a scalable and repeatable business model. So again, 3 spots left for this. And this, I just found out this information as of Tuesday. So yesterday, just found this out. So eligibility requirements for them, again, like I talked about, it's got to be a university college spinout. You couldn't have previously gotten any OCE funding. You have to be incorporated for 5 years or less. You could not have raised more than $1 million in the past. You must be principally located in Ontario. Those are kind of the criteria that relate to market readiness. So if you think you adhere to those criteria and it's something you want, let me know sooner rather than later so we can get you introduced to our partner. So we were talking about the collaboration with academia, industry in collaboration with academia. This is the VIP program. So the VIP program helps companies develop, implement, and commercialize technical innovations when they're working in partnership with academia. So I have a company right now who they're developing their technology in partnership with Ryerson. And so they are potentially eligible for this, but there are a few stipulations. Does it talk about, the eligibility. So the eligibility on a high level is you must have at least 5 full-time employees. And that's one of the big things. You must have been in operation for a minimum of 2 years. See, here they say a minimum of 2 full-time employees, but it's been changed to 5. Let's see if VIP 2, no. So you must have a minimum of 5 full-time employees. The research partner must be a principal investigator at an Ontario accredited post-secondary education institution. So college, university, or a research hospital even works. For college projects, the applicant must be a representative of the College Applied Research Office with primary researchers included as team members. The applicant must have arm's length relationship with the industry partners as well. Adjunct professors may be eligible on a case-by-case basis. For the company, you must be for-profit and have operations in Ontario, which are expected to commercialize and or implement the results. So all of this, again, OCE, Ontario Centers of Excellence, all of these are because you must be an Ontario-based college, Ontario-based company. So for the VIP program, it's a little bit better actually, because you only have to match 25% in cash for VIP 1. So you can get up to $20,000, one-to-one matching from an industry partner, but that 25% of your portion can be in cash and 25% can be in kind. For the VIP 2, you can get up to $150,000 over 2 years, and one-to-one matching from the industry partner. Whenever you see industry partner, that's the applicant or that's the company. 50% can be in cash and 50% can be in kind, which is great for a lot of startup companies. So our goals working with OCE, so we want to provide valuable applicants for OCE business development managers. So that's why today I'm kind of presenting to you some of their programs, or actually all of their programs that are currently open. It's a great cross-sell opportunity with Leyton. We feel it's a value add for our Leyton clients to get extra funding from grants. And it helps to validate and increase success rate for applicants. So what we do is we kind of we do these kinds of presentations, sometimes, most of the time in collaboration with OCE. What we'll do is once we have a valid applicant that we feel is worthwhile to introduce, we'll introduce them to our contacts at OCE and then work in collaboration. So our role is to introduce and then help to write the grant as well. Some questions that aren't, or some answers that aren't in this slide. So the typical turnaround time for a lot of these applications for OCE from when they open up the application portal to acceptance. For market readiness, it's quite a lot longer. It's about 3 to 6 months, closer to the 6 month. For the VIP program, it's about 2.5 months. And for Encore 5G and the NGNP, it's typically about 2 months. So just keep that in mind. The other thing that I didn't talk about is when you're thinking about grants and applying for grants, you must be approved before spending the money. So just think about, you must be granted approval before you spend the money on the project, before you kind of start the project. But we can help with that. Short and sweet. Any questions?
This is your time to answer any questions if you have. This is the perfect time. Going once, going twice.
I know this is a shorter presentation, fewer audience, more intimate and interactive, but
yeah.
If any questions do come up, more than happy to answer in the future as well.
Absolutely. You guys, if you guys have any questions, you can do that directly in the chat or just unmute yourself. And this is your time to answer the questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting, but I don't have any questions at this point in time.
Okay,
perfect.
Thanks, Simon.
Hi, John. Thank you. I have a quick question for the presentation content. So I was just wondering, you mentioned all these fundings for companies that have, I guess, like a direct relationship with these technology or device development. So what about companies that play a supportive role in, for example, helping these companies to market their products?
So companies that are helping companies to market their products, there are very, very few, if any, grants that that are out there to for marketing purposes, to help market products and things like that. I've come across one, and that was relating to agriculture in the last few years. Specifically nowadays, just to give you an idea of the grant landscape, this time last year, there was a way more grants out there available, but because of COVID, the grant landscape as it looks right now is very sparse. So they're really focusing, it looks like they're focusing on specific technological areas, for example, 5G or things like that, and not so much the end commercialization of it. As far as the marketing and things go like that. Does that answer your question, Nancy?
Yes, yeah. What about, I guess, in terms of priority, for example, health versus education, right? Because those are some of the categories that they have on the OCE website, right? Yeah. Companies that they have supported before. Right now, do you see that they are leaning towards one versus the other?
That's a good question. I see them leaning towards one over another. Obviously, for 5G, if you can provide a valid use case for having access to 5G, they're more than happy to work with you. OCE is one of the very funding bodies that is actively looking to fund people, and they're really looking to work with people to give them the money. Whereas, for example, IRAP, FedDev, they're very, very restrictive, if I can put it that way, as far as the money that they give out. So it's a lot more difficult for those, whereas OCE is trying to make it easier. So I'm not seeing any particular industry or particular technology stream or technology niche that is favored one over another. It all depends on the I guess the end product itself, or what you're seeking to achieve. If it's a learning management platform like a Udemy or something, it's probably not going to be as highly. It's not going to probably be given as high a priority as if you were developing a machine learning algorithm to detect cancer cells in MRIs, kind of thing. Like, just if you could just think about like if there's an abundance of something out there, then it's less likely to be given priority, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Hi, John. Thank you. My name is Daniel. I appreciate the presentation. I had a question. You mentioned something about market readiness.
Yeah.
How is that? How do we calculate that? Is there a way we can find more information on that?
What do you mean? How do you calculate it?
You mentioned that there was, depending on your market readiness, you could, I guess, like apply for certain investments, or I guess grants for like I think it was the $125,000 one and the $250,000.
Yeah. So the I can share with you a link in here. Let me just find it. It's called the TRL level, technology readiness level. TRL. Hold on. But for this one, you must have investments. You must have third-party investors in order to be eligible for this as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. I actually got the TRL levels. I think it's from the government of Canada. That's the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I'll share it with everyone here so that everyone has access to it. But yeah, it's ic.gc.ca. So they're looking for TRLs of 7 to 9 for market readiness.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, John.
Yeah, no worries. If you think you have a TRL of 7 to 9 and you have a third-party investor, please reach out. I'm more than happy to make an introduction to my connection at OCE because they have 3 spots left, is what she's telling me.
100%. I think I have to look into if I qualify first with the 7 to 9, but I will definitely reach out to you. I appreciate that, John.
Yeah, no worries. One thing to note with market readiness, you must have had your IP developed at a university. So either, like say for, I think it's Spark, that's the Ryerson one. Anyways, DMZ or DMZ or Mars DD are examples of university-based accelerators where they would consider the IP being developed there.
Something with the whole technology must be developed at a university. I am a university student. What does it mean for the university for the technology to be developed at my university? Do I have to partner with them and find organizations there that help accelerate it?
As a university student, you should be that should fall under the criteria for IP being developed at a university.
Okay, all right. And is there like, I don't know how critical they are of this, but I know with the whole pandemic situation, there was a few courses that were thrown all over the place. So at certain times, I might not have been enrolled in classes. Do you know if there's any scrutinization for something like this, or should I maybe reach out?
I doubt it. Like they're pretty flexible. The main focus is that you have a technology that is a TRL of 7 to 9, and it's something that's unique. So something that's not out there, like you haven't developed another CRM or an ERP or something like that, if that makes sense.
All right, thank you, John. I appreciate that.
No worries. Yeah. Questions, by the way. I like these.
John, I have a question right now when it comes down to anything. Is there any other kind of programs like there, like a market readiness that does not require anything with universities, or that's anything that really just stimulates business for non-university students? Because everything seems to be just directly either through these specific streams or through a college or university or some kind of educational stream. Is that the way they're going, or is there anything just for a regular entrepreneur that launches a business and just needs some funding from the government?
I know. There used to be one called SOFII, SOFII, but you have to be in Ontario for that. There is one, Nancy, you might be interested in. It's by the, Northumberland FDC. And that is specifically for women-led businesses. You can get a zero interest loan. It's called, I'll let me see if I can. I think it's a $15,000. Oh, Delia. Wow, why is my internet so slow? $15,000, yeah. So, but that's all that there is. And honestly, Brian, if you'd asked me this question last year, I probably would have had a better answer for you. But because IRAP has the IAP, which is COVID-related funding, FedDev has RRF, which is COVID-related funding, and there's CEWS, which is COVID-related funding. There's less programs, especially because Doug Ford did get a lot of Mars DD's funding. So a lot of their programs got cut. Really, we still have OCE, which is great. But a lot of the funding programs did get cut pre-COVID. And obviously they haven't come back because of all the COVID-related funding.
Yeah, understandable.
And this is why I focused on OCE, is because OCE is one of the very few who are still actively seeking to fund people. And they're very friendly to work with.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now again, if you're trying to deal directly with a university or with some kind of collegiate activity, how hard is it to basically deal with them?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I've never had that. I've never had to engage with a university research. I'm sure if you have a good idea that it's pretty easy. And there are programs like MyTax who can facilitate that as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, everybody, do you guys have any other questions? I mean, again, perfect time to ask anything that's maybe somewhat related to OCE or just around the conversation. Again, I mean, John's definitely the person, even when it comes down to SHRED or anything that's grant related or anything that's money related like this, again, when it comes down to research and development as well. Yeah.
And if anything comes up between now and then, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I know sometimes after it ends, you're like, oh, I just thought of something. But feel free. More than happy to answer any questions. I can be found on LinkedIn or go through Brian, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you like.
Going once, going twice.
All right.
Perfect. Well,
Great.
Guys, if you guys don't have any questions, then we'll definitely call it a day. And then anything when it comes down to the presentation today, we'll just definitely pass it on to everybody. So one, we have the recording. Two, we have the slides. And then again, if there's any questions after this, feel free to email John or myself, and we're happy to make any introductions with anything else afterwards.
For sure.
So once again, thank you, John, so much for the presentation. Thank you so much for everybody for joining today's call. I'll definitely let you guys all know we have another event happening on the 23rd. It is a talk with an angel investor, which is going to be, I think it is Maple Leaf Angels.
Wow.
So definitely jump on that call. It's going to be fantastic. And definitely want to thank everybody from Leyton for hosting this event. I also want to thank our sponsor, Growth Driver IO, for hosting this event as well. So if there's anything else, you know what? Give us a call. We're here to help you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Bye.